The New England Patriots, this is one of my favorite teams in the AFC East right now. And the AFC in general, because I think even though I am a Jets fan and these are supposed to be our rivals, they got a lot of players I like on this team. Cam Newton, I really love. I love Mac Jones. I was very high on him coming out of the draft. They added a lot. Matt Judon, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Trent Brown, Jalen Mills, Kyle Van Noy, Kendrick Bourne, Henry Anderson, Ted Karras, Mac Jones, Christian Barmore. That's a lot of talent. That's a lot of talent. And even though they don't have an elite wide receiver, they also brought in Nelson Aguilar, which I think was huge. Even though they don't have an elite wide receiver, they don't need one. Bill Belichick, in his years as a coach, outside of Randy Moss, has never had an elite wide receiver. He's always had a great tight end.
Two tight end system.
In the 90s, Benjamin Watson, he drafted Benjamin Watson in the mid-2000s. That was the Patriots' go-to guy. He was very good for them. Then after Watson left, signed with another team, he drafted Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski.
Crazy.
He tried to revive the tight end position and their tight end group by drafting Devin Asiasi and Dalton Keene, but they were god-awful, so he paid for some. He paid for Jonnu Smith. He paid for He paid for Hunter Henry, and those two guys are one of the best tight ends in the league. And I think when healthy, they make up the best tight end duo in the entire NFL. The biggest question mark is Cam Newton. What Cam Newton are we going to get? Are we going to get Cam Newton in Carolina, his MVP season? That year, he had an elite tight end in Greg Olsen. Maybe he replicates that with Jonnu and Hunter Henry. But as of late, Cam Newton hasn't been a very good quarterback. That's just been a fact. He hasn't been a very good quarterback. There is a legit argument between Cam versus Mac Jones in their camp right now. They are battling it out for the starting quarterback role. But last season, they were also hurt by the most opt-outs in the entire NFL. They had injuries as well. Their run defense was horrible. But they got Kyle Van Noy, and they got Christian Barmore and Henry Anderson to try and solidify that. And I don't think their losses were too big. Adam Butler, Demir Bird, Jason McCourty, Marcus Cannon, Julian Edelman, he retired. It's not too big of a loss.
Still got those guys, McCourty. You still got Jonathan Jones, I believe.
Yes, they have McCourty, J.C. Jackson, Gilmore.
Yeah, they still got them boys out there.
They have an elite defense, and they will be elite next year. But their schedule is tough as well.
Oh, my goodness.
The Saints, the Bucks, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Browns, the Titans, the Colts, and then the Dolphins and Bills twice. They have a pretty tough schedule. Their win forecast, what they're predicted to go, is 9 wins. I think they go 11-6. And they're going to be the second best team in the AFC East. And all year long, the Bills and the Patriots will be fighting for that first place. And even if Cam Newton isn't Cam Newton, Mac Jones is going to be great.
His rookie season,
he's going to show up. Yes, and Mac Jones is prepared.
See, that was my thing, because the way I'm looking at the Patriots right now is at some point, Mac Jones is going to take the reins, and New England, they're just going to, I'm not going to say they're going to start losing, but they're not going to be on like the winning pace that they were. Like, I don't think they're full attention unless they are like undefeated or only have 2 losses at the time he comes in. I think once Mac Jones comes in, granted the specifics I just mentioned before, they're just going to be worried about developing him as a quarterback. I think the wins, like I said, unless they're in a pure playoff contention, but then again, even if they are, I don't see him taking the field. I think they're going to stick with Cam if he's the one who got him to that position in the first place. So I really don't see it. I think the Patriots going to win 8 games. I see them going 8-9. I don't think they're beating Miami or Buffalo, but yeah, there's a lot of quarterback controversy for me that kind of takes them away from really, winning the division, like you said.
I would agree with you if their coach wasn't Bill Belichick. I don't think Bill Belichick gives a damn about developing Mac Jones. I think all he cares about is winning. If Mac Jones sucks, you suck, we're not running with you. You're not going out there. If he shows that he's better than Cam Newton, Bill Belichick is going to say, you're starting. I think Bill Belichick is that type of coach where it doesn't matter your status. It doesn't matter the draft pick. You can either play or you can't play. If you can play, you'll play. If you can't, you're not going to see the field. And that's why I think if Mac Jones gets that starting spot, it's because he's earned it.
9-8. Had to do that.
9-8. So the same. Oh, you have the Dolphins 7-10.
Yeah, I still have New England being the second best team in the division. I just think 9-8, they have a tough schedule. And the reason why I think, well, let me start off the acquisitions they got. I know a little bit about Nelson Aguilar. He played for my Eagles. He's all right when he's coming to play. He's still a really good. They picked up some guy, Trent Brown, for the offensive line. They got some linebackers. They got that 2 tight end system that they always had in New England. It always worked for them. So that's going to be good. Like you said, they don't really need an elite wide receiver because that 2 tight end system is going to work. And even when Cam Newton won MVP, he didn't have a elite wide receiver, if I'm not mistaken. He had if not elite, he had a great tight end in Greg Olsen at the time. So that works for Cam's game. Like you said, the defense is coming back. That defense before the opt-outs was one of the best defenses in the NFL. That defense was elite. I think with this team, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they're kind of having a situation where, because you said if Cam starts, if I'm not mistaken, Cam and Mac have 2 completely different games. It's kind of like the same with Tua and Fitz. They had 2 different games. If Cam is walking into the season and the offense is geared up for Cam, right, wouldn't it kind of put Mac in a bad spotlight if he's kind of like jumps in there week 6, 7, but the offense was kind of geared towards Mac Jones. Towards Cam. Now you kind of have to tinker it up for it to be, for Mac at that time. Wouldn't that mess them up in a way and put them down in some losses? Because the schedule is tough.
I think Cam Newton's game right now is not what it once was, to the point that you're going to design an entire offense that's schemed around basically his ability to run. I don't think Cam Newton is that guy that the Patriots are looking at and they say, we want you to carry the ball 20 times.
Right.
The system they have in place is a short passing system. And I think Mac Jones, that's where he thrives the most. Cam Newton, he had those situations in New England where it's a 3rd and 1. We're going to QB power and rush you up the middle, and you're going to get this first down. I think that's going to change slightly, but in terms of the offense, I think Mac Jones coming in it's going to be very similar. I don't think it's a situation where it's RG3 in Washington and Kirk Cousins is coming in.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I think it's RG3 after coming off of an injury. Now we have Kirk Cousins. RG3 started. They didn't have success. Now it's Kirk Cousins in the system that he's comfortable in. I think it's that because Cam Newton is not that same player anymore. And because of that, if he's not that same quarterback, you're not going to scheme, or you're not going to create a whole offensive game plan around the skill set that he had 5 years ago.
Right.
I think what he is now is a much conservative quarterback.
Yeah, and that really, Cam Newton's success really predicates on what the record is going to be. I think he'll be mediocre at best, and that would lead to a 9-8 record. Mac Jones, him being experienced at what he is, him being the quarterback at Alabama, I still think it's still, a little too much to say he'll just come in and, be successful. I don't want to say he is, but I don't want to say he isn't. It's a 50-50, but I think, with this schedule being so tough and that division being at where it's at right now, where you have 3 teams that can easily make the playoffs in this division and a tough schedule. They play Cleveland, they play the Chargers, they play some teams for real. So Cam Newton's going to really have to step up and have that good season that he used to have. But I think, all in all, 9-8 would be a solid record for them. I have them making the playoffs with a 9-8 record. I have New England in my playoffs.
You think they're in the playoffs with the 9-8 record? I don't think so. That's not going to happen.
Well, we don't have the same idea.
You think the Colts and the Titans both win less than 9 games or 9 games flat?
I had both of them win more than 9 games.
So that's 2 teams in the division that go to the playoffs.
I had Colts. You didn't have Colts and Titans going to the playoffs. I had Colts.
No, I had Titans going to the playoffs.
I had both going to the playoffs.
I think Titans will win that division. Okay.
I had Colts going.
That's 2 teams in that division that go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
You got Buffalo.
Buffalo, you have that's 3. AFC West.
It's
Chiefs.
7 teams that make the playoffs now.
Yeah, okay. Do you have the Chargers winning 10 games or more, or 9?
I have not looked at the schedule, so I can't answer that
question. Okay, I do, but now we look at the AFC North. Baltimore, Cleveland, that's 2 right there.
Mm.
That knocks out New England at 9.
Right. Yeah, so now they don't make the playoffs. Because then Baltimore, I got Cleveland.
And Pittsburgh is not going to be a cakewalk either.
I got Chiefs, Bills, that's 4, Colts, Titans. Yeah, it's not looking too good for them.
That's why I think they make the playoffs for me, but with 11 wins.
I don't think they're going to get 11, though.
I think they can. I really do.
I think they can, but I don't think they will.
Because that with that elite defense, they're going to be in every single game. Every single game.
No, yeah. It really depends on Cam, man. Cam and Mac. Like, it depends on Cam. What are they gonna do, bro? Because that defense is gonna keep them in the game. Can they capitalize? You know, that's really how it's gonna be. And can Hunter Henry stay on the field?
He's already hurt right now. He's gonna be out a couple weeks.
Like, so now you're already down one of your best guys out there. Hunter Henry, he's had a problem with staying on the field. I mean, Jonnu Smith is good, but you kind of need that 1-2 punch. You know, Nelson Aguilar, he's good. He showed promise last year, but he's had situations in the past where he's dropped the ball and he's made some errors in the fourth quarter. So it's going to be tough. But like you said, that defense is going to keep them in probably like 80-90% of their games. So we'll see.
They won 7 games last year, and I think they got significantly better.
But the AFC got better.
Yeah, but not as much as the Patriots did this past offseason.
Which conference did the AFC East play? In the AFC?
They're playing Tampa's conference.
Last year we played the NFC West.
So right now they're playing Tampa in them.
I forgot who else we played too.
You played
The
all-
NFC
What was the
West.
AFC conference we
I think we played the Raiders.
North. No.
So we played the AFC West because we played the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Raiders
that's
last
right.
year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a tough conference too.
I mean,
This year we played the AFC South and the NFC South.
Yeah.
That's easier than that last year's. I'm not sure. It's gonna be tough.
That's 2 L's.